Hey everybody, it's a Friday afternoon here. Figure I'd knock this video out so you guys could see what's been going on in the shop. I want to talk a little bit about an S10 we just knocked out. Took us a couple days to get finished. Yeah, I crowded it in front of customers. I never do that, but this is one I had to for personal reasons, mental mostly. If I wanted to keep my sanity, this needed to be out of my hair. And you can see, I don't have much hair. I got knots on top of my head, but here we go. Let me show you what I got going on in this place. S10 pickup. Feller come in, he's from Geneva, wanted ladder bars. He had leaf springs and $10 slapper bars that clamp on the springs. That's what was on this truck. It's a 7-second truck. It ain't real fast in the 8th, but we added ladder bars. That's what he wanted. So coilovers. I typically sell AFCOs, but I had a set of QA1s and the feller wasn't rich, so I sold him this set I had on the shelf versus me sitting on them for 10 years. So on a 7-second bracket truck, these are going to be just fine. He had previously purchased a bolt-in rear end from Mosier with the economy disc brakes on it and everything, which made it nice for me because I knew that it was straight and I wouldn't have to do anything to it. I'm not a fan of these brakes. I think these are inline tube brakes, and honestly I think they're crappy. So the ladder bars are from Chassis Engineering. I love their kits. With this one I bought the whole kit. I bought the entire ladder bar kit. Ladder bars with the brackets, track locator, front cross member. Then I bought a set of lower rear shock mounts and added the top ones. It's just tabs and tubing that I have here. So, but I get this thing in here and it's like every which way. This thing's got baling wire on it, and I mean you can see the way the wiring and stuff is run up in the truck. We had to work around that. It's got a piece of 3/8 fuel line from the fuel pump all the way to the front. NHRA says 6 inches of rubber line max. And I wanted to show you to get where I need on the instant center. The cross member is below the frame rail, so below the bottom of the frame rail. Chassis Engineering recommends the bottom bar angle be 4 to 6 degrees down in the front. I've talked about instant centers before, and I've had guys that say no, you use camshaft center line and everything else. That technology is like from the mid 80s. If you look at this truck, and I'm going to try to get where you can get it, you can see the bolt there, and and of course the tire's out of the truck 6 inches. If you went from the tire center line through the bolt center, it would intersect up in the front bumper, just like I recommend everything. So that's the best way to do it. At a minimum, get your bottom bar level, okay? At a minimum, never point it up in the air on a ladder bar. This is a 32-inch bar. You get a 42-inch bar in the car, that softens it up. The farther forward the instant center is, the softer it is, you know, the hit is. So, and I did put, like I say, these shocks are single adjustable. One of the things I want to show you to think about when you're doing this, whatever this bottom bar angle, when it's setting at ride height, you need to set this set of holes at that same angle. So when you go to add or subtract hit into the truck, you don't have to move this heim joint. It'll rotate through its axis, makes life easier. So make this 90 degrees to the bottom bar at ride height. Okay? You can see this one here, like that's one thing I don't like about ladders, is the U-joint angle sort of goofy on this thing right now, but that's just because the rear end's hanging out of the truck. It's got like a 1.5 degrees extra pinion angle in it when it's done. So, but we got this one knocked out. Like I say, it took us about 2 days. I try to, like these here, they've got a hole in the bottom here for this cross tube. I really like that. Keeps the bottoms of the bracket from moving. And then I always put a tie here, like an eyelet made out of 1/2-inch tubing, so you can tie the car down. Like you put your hooks or your ratchet straps in there. So, and it's got like a regular 3/4 inch track locator in it. Like I say, 7-second truck. It's going to be just fine and dandy. So we got that one knocked out. I got too long a spring on it. I thought those might work. Stuff I had here. So I got to get a 12-inch spring versus that 14. Bill's car. Come along good. Body's back off, as you can see. I put the body on to mount the radiator. We're going to put like vent holes in the back of the car so that that fan will suck air in there, and then I made a shroud and put a big Spall fan on it. Electrical disconnects mounted in there. I'll walk around that side and show you. He's got an Odyssey Extreme battery that mounts in there. I always try to put an interior disconnect in a car. So this will be the handle here. This will be the handle to shut it on and off from the back. Then what I do, I make these little aluminum arms. I have them water jetted out that go on the switch. And then I have this cable here that I put in, and that goes up next to the roll cage, and you can turn the power on and off from in there. My battery boxes, I make them out of 1-inch heavy wall tubing on both ends, and then I weld like a gusseted tab on it with a nut welded on the bottom. And this one here, being the ways that it attaches, I just put like 1-inch flat stock on the outsides, and then on the bottom down here is 1.5 inches, and then I stitch weld the bottom to hold that together. But a lot of times what I'll do is I leave these tubes long here so I can attach them like into a frame rail down in here, but since it's not level, I can't do that with this car, so I had to raise it up. Like I'm trying to jam in, you know, the fuel pump, the battery, the remote water pump goes up in that corner up there, you know, all this stuff in this little hole. I got the expansion tank for the radiator mount and the overflow, a lot of stuff back in this hole. So, but she's going good. Sean's car, show you a little of that. It's just sort of pushed out of the way for right now, and he's okay with that. We got, I think I showed you frame rails are roughed in, and Jeff started putting the front end on it. I got the cross member for the rack tacked in, and the front suspension just sort of sitting on there temporary so we can figure out where the shocks go. So like I say, we laid off this for 2 days, so in Bill's car for 2 days, so we could get that truck done. Mental health, support mental health. And then the Chevy 2, I've been fiddling around in the evenings, and I got the body filler done there on both sides. That's all done. Clean, everything's cleaned up. I got my strut tubes off. I'm going to try to get this in primer tomorrow. Like 2K on the filler and the cowl, and then everything else will be an etch primer. Just for now, because I'll save the painting until I get it all finished inside, because as I told you before, we're ripping this thing apart. So dashboard, I got it over there, it's ready to prime. So anywho, that's what's happening in the shop. I wanted to fill you guys in, let you know what was up, and talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Hey, do me a favor, like my videos too, because that helps more people see them, okay? Thanks, guys.